Hey, everybody, Karen Anderson here with this week's Week in Review. And before we get started, I want you to click like, please, and click subscribe. Click the bell so that you're notified every time we go live. And we have a lot of live events still ready to happen in the month of February. So, what is Week in Review? Well, for those of you that are new, we post things on Facebook, website, Instagram, and this kind of gives us an opportunity to review all those posts and let you chime in with me via the chat below. Just know this is a public page, whatever you say, so be nice. It's going to live out there forever. So just think about that. All right, so we're going to get started and talk about the posts for the week. And I really hope you tune in and you say something because we've got a really cool announcement. All right, so last Monday, movement for movement. Big headline, sitting is the new smoking. That should grab your attention. And are you ready to quit? I love Joyce. Joyce is our new Movement for Movement Monday poster, blogger. And let's see what she had to say. So a Movement for Movement Monday check-in. If you have not committed to 20 minutes of intentional movement per day, keep reading. Because imagine lighting up a cigarette every morning, every afternoon, and evening, and you know it's harming your body, but it's just kind of part of your everyday routine. So now swap that cigarette smoking for sitting. Shocking? Well, it should be. Prolonged sitting is just as dangerous as smoking. It increases your risk of heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and possibly death, early death. So just like smoking, it slowly harms your body, weakens your heart, it slows your circulation down, and it can increase inflammation. But just like smoking, you can quit. You can stand up every 30 minutes to 60 minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes of movement. That's really going to make a difference. And I know a lot of people with your smartwatches, it will actually buzz and tell you, hey, you need to get up and it's time to move. And you should listen. Even if you just march in place, get up, go to the bathroom, go get a drink. You want to go sit back down, that's fine. But it's very important that you try to move. And swap sitting for smaller activities like we just mentioned. You can march in place, you can do a stretch, you can take the stairs a little bit, but you want to make movement a habit, not an afterthought. Sitting is the new smoking, and just want to know, are you ready to break the habit? Because your health kind of depends upon it. So always consult a physician before you begin a new exercise routine. And I hope that this resonates with you, because it certainly resonates with me. I am very well aware now of how much time I may sit, especially if I'm taking a long drive. I now take an intentional break to get up, to stretch, to walk around a little bit. And I hope you think about this as well. I mean, everybody makes these New Year resolutions. This is an easy one to make and an easy one to maintain. So that was your Movement for Movement Monday inspirational bit of information. Who's here with us today, Josh? Anybody yet?
Hi,
Are
Molly.
they all
Hi, Tom.
snoozing? Oh, hey, Molly. Hey, Tom. Good to know you're there. Or as Glenda says, it's good to see me. I love that line. Sorry. I do. I love Wicked. All right, we're off to Topic Tuesday. And if you didn't know by now, February is American Heart Month. It's actually more than just Heart Month. There's Women's Heart Health, there's Marfan Syndrome Awareness, and then there's also Heart Valve Disease Awareness Day coming up on February 22nd. So it's a very busy month on top of Black History Month, in which we will focus on some Black physicians that have really made an impact in the cardiovascular world. So we are just super busy in February. But we really wanted to talk about aortic stenosis and aortic regurgitation, since Heart Disease Awareness Day is coming up so soon. We wanted to make sure that you guys understand the difference. I think we may have already talked about bicuspid valve. If not, we will. It's hard for me to remember all the posts that go up, so excuse me if I don't remember. But these are important, because typically outside of having an abnormal amount of leaflets, like having less, which would be, bicuspid, it's regurgitation and stenosis are the two things that you really want to kind of pay attention to. So regurgitation, here's what the visual looks like, and it kind of shows you that there's backflow. It's going back into a chamber of the heart. And then there's stenosis, where it creates restricted valve opening because there's calcification. that's happening on the leaflets. So both of these conditions involve the aortic valve. That's what we're talking about. And the fourth and final valve in your blood encounters in its journey, it's what your blood encounters in its journey through the heart. And like with any valve, its key role is to selectively allow forward flow when desired and to stop any flow when necessary. So during the entire cardiac cycle, blood should flow forward freely during systole, right? You know, that next word's coming up, and I just practiced it before I went live. Systole is the contracting phase and should not be allowed to flow backwards during, what was it, diastole? I think that's what it is. Diastole? Diastole. Look, these big words, sometimes I got to practice and do pronunciation on my phone. And just like that, I forgot how to pronounce it. Anyway, it should flow freely during the contracting phase and should not be allowed to flow backwards during the relaxing phase. That's the key point. And this ensures efficient movement of blood through the heart and to the rest of the body. When you have aortic stenosis, this occurs when the opening of the valve, it's basically too small. And oftentimes, this is going to be due to a buildup of calcification or a buildup of calcium deposits. And this happens on the valve leaflets. And this is pretty normal because it can occur as we age. This will happen. The leaflets may start to become rigid and they can't fully open. And what happens when they can't fully open is it restricts blood flow. And this process is similar to mineral deposits in water pipes. So think about your water pipes and how the minerals can leave a deposit or a residue on the inside. And that's not going to allow your blood to flow freely. And it creates this resistance through the pipes. And in response to increased resistance, what do you think happens? The heart is going to exert more pressure to pump the blood through the narrowed valve. It just creates this narrowing in the valve. And so over time, this extra workload can lead to hypertrophy. It's that word, hypertrophy. I don't, I'm going to go with hypertrophy because I didn't practice that one because I didn't look ahead. But that's what it can lead to. And what that is when your heart muscle thickens. Okay. So while this initially will compensate for stenosis, this thickening, it can eventually compromise your heart's ability to pump efficiently. And that could lead to symptoms like chest pain. It could lead to possible fatigue, shortness of breath, and even fainting. So that's what can happen with stenosis. And other common causes of aortic stenosis include congenital bicuspid aortic valve. So that's where the valve has 2 leaflets instead of 3, and rheumatic heart disease. Bicuspid aortic valves is more likely to become calcified over time, and rheumatic heart disease can cause scarring of the valves. Before I go any further, I want you to know I'm not a doctor. This post was created by one of our med students, and so I am just relaying the information, which is why I don't know sometimes how to properly pronounce a word. All right, let's get into aortic regurgitation, which is something I can personally relate to because my valve is floppy, like regurgitation. And all of these valves get graded. You can have a trace amount of regurgitation or stenosis, which is so common. And if you find that on an echo, if they tell you that you have that, it's really no cause for alarm. It's not this major emergency because this is normal. And it becomes more evident as we age. And if you have mild regurgitation or stenosis, it's still okay. You're going to have a conversation with your physician. Now, it can go from mild to moderate, or it can just go literally, it can be called mild to moderate as one phrase, or it can move from mild to moderate, which is a whole other area of measurement. Then you can go mild to severe, or you can go from mild to severe. So there's like trace, mild, mild to moderate, moderate, moderate to severe, severe. And obviously, when you're in that severe category, you're having a valve replacement. How that is determined is really between you and your physician and your own situation. So let's move on to aortic regurgitation or insufficiency. And that occurs when the aortic valve fails to close completely. So it's left open. It's not closing completely. And that allows the blood to flow backwards into the left ventricle after it's been pumped out. An amount will flow backwards. For me, I'm having almost 40% of my blood when it comes out is going right back into that left ventricle. And this backward flow kind of overfills the heart, which it now needs to accommodate both the returning blood and the new blood that's entering the atrium, right? So you've got blood coming back around like it's supposed to, and now I've got backflow coming in. Like that's a problem. That creates an extra amount of blood in that area. And over time, the heart is going to respond by dilating. It's going to grow and it's going to reduce its efficiency and eventually could lead to symptoms of heart failure. So this can manifest and show itself in fatigue, shortness of breath, palpitations, swelling in the hands and in the ankles and the feet due to fluid retention. Having said all that, not every time if you feel shortness of breath, does it mean that this is the diagnosis? If you're feeling fatigue, that this is the diagnosis? Because as we know, taking a lot of these medications, especially some beta blockers, can make us feel shortness of breath. So I don't want anybody to sit there that has not been diagnosed with an issue with their valve thinking, I have shortness of breath, I'm fatigued, I must have something wrong with my valve, because that's not how it works. But if you're having symptoms, you should have that conversation with your physician, because an echo is so easy to check your valve, to know exactly what's going on. It's either an echo or it could be a cardiac MRI, because that will show blood flow while they're doing the MRI. So don't fret. Just make your physician aware of your symptoms. And the causes of aortic regurgitation actually include congenital valve defects. You could be born with this and not even know. Endocarditis, which is actually an infection of the heart valve, and that's serious. You really do want to make sure your physician is aware of your symptoms, because if that's something you have, you need to have that addressed. Rheumatic heart disease, and complications from aortic dissections or aneurysms, where the structural integrity of the valve and surrounding aortic tissue becomes compromised. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these here. How do you treat aortic stenosis and regurgitation? I didn't even know that all of these existed, especially C. What in the heck is that? This looks like a top plate denture. Not sure. First I thought this could have been a mango, right? These are all so very interesting. We're going to get into it right now. Mild cases of stenosis and regurgitation are followed with careful monitoring, and they don't require any intervention. Mild, and we talked about that. Mild is mild. Once it becomes severe enough, and severe is sometimes determined not necessarily by the status of the valve. It also your symptoms can play a part in this. So that's, again, why it's so important for you to ace your healthcare journey, which we're going to start talking about more and more, and advocate for yourself by communicating and educating your physicians about your symptoms. This is a perfect example of how you want to be sure not to just sit back and be quiet, fearful of letting somebody know how you're feeling. You need to speak up and tell them what you're feeling and when. So once it becomes severe enough, the aortic stenosis could require surgical or catheter-based intervention or treatment. So the aortic valve replacement, or AVR, and you've probably seen AVR accompanied with the letter T at the beginning, and we're going to talk about it. So an aortic valve replacement can be performed both surgically or via a catheter. And alternatively, your physician may recommend a balloon valvuloplasty. Valvuloplasty. Interesting word. That's a catheter-based approach where a balloon pushes the valve open. Aortic regurgitation and sufficient severity may also be treated with surgical or transcatheter replacement, or may be treated by aortic valve repair in select cases to fix the regurgitation while preserving the valve. Okay, a lot. We didn't get into these and knowing exactly what these are, but there is a link here that you can click to learn what each of these are. My guesstimate is these are going to be, these are stents, including other material. I don't really know. This looks like it's a valve that also has a graft attached to it. This is like a one-piece component. Not sure. I'm going to ask a physician about this. These are absolutely mechanical right here. These are mechanical. These you cannot do through a catheter. You cannot do mechanical endovascularly because they don't collapse on themselves. So the only way to put in the one and done mechanical is through a surgery, through a cut, through an incision. So there's pros and cons for all of this, and we will get into your different valve types. I'm sure that's coming up in the next week or so. But tissue valves, you could possibly do that endovascularly because they do smush up and they can be put up that catheter. If you have an adjoining aneurysm, that also probably should be repaired or replaced, then it's questionable. I don't know, I'm not your doctor, but it could be questionable as to whether or not you can still have it transcatheter. But I'm very much looking forward to the next post that comes out about the different types of valve replacements and the different materials. So this was enough information. I think it's very interesting to understand the difference of stenosis and regurgitation. A lot of this information is in our second book, Aortic Disease, the Patient Guide, and hopefully reading it written by patients and reviewed by physicians and will make it a little bit easier to understand. I think that this was very well done, and I love having the graphics and the visuals to kind of get a feel for what's going on in my own body. So I hope you did too. And that was your Topic Tuesday. Okay, Josh, fire away. What's going on in the peanut gallery?
Hi,
Very
Velda.
important peanut.
That is
Hey,
all.
Velda. So nice to see you there.
That
Well,
is all.
I can't see you, but I know you're there. Okay. Let's move on. We are going to Feel Good Friday because Wednesdays are our contest days, you guys, and that strictly lives on Facebook. And Thursday, we started back up our Therapeutic Thursday with our live sessions with John Quick. If you're not familiar with who he is a community member. He is a survivor of a dissection, a gentleman who then became a therapist. And he is coming on to kind of share a story a little bit, and then he has a topic of the day, and then he's taking questions from you guys here in the chat. And I do love listening to the topics because, God, it's just, I know these topics are on everybody's minds, and it's great to have somebody talk about them as he's feeling them or as people bring them up. And yeah, so it's interesting. You can catch those. They are now going to be held on our YouTube channel, and you can review them and see if anything resonates with you. So moving on to Friday, it was Feel Good Friday, and it was National Wear Red Day. Of course, here I can't show you the pictures of people who wore red, but we really wanted to raise awareness. And I feel in February, any day is a great day to wear red because it gets people thinking. I would assume that for most people, they think about Valentine's Day. But for us, we're thinking aortic disease. Other people are thinking heart disease. And it's just kind of spreading awareness and showing support. So we asked everybody to head over to Facebook and Instagram and throw up the pictures of themselves wearing red, and they did. They did turn out. So we were spreading some very healthy heart vibes together. And that was Friday. Great graphics. Okay. Hey, Velda. Saturday was all about you. The Survivor Series Day, about our Canadian support group moderator, Velda McKenzie. Look how pretty that picture is. So it was actually her very special day. It was her fifth aortiversary, like yesterday, right? Today's the 10th. So happy fifth aortiversary to you. Wishing you the very best, of course, continued healing, health, and happiness. And she's been on Canadian radio programs telling her gripping story of her aortic dissection. And you should click the link right here to read more. There's a lot of information there. There's also a video that you can see here where she talks about all of that. And I encourage all of you to watch or listen to her story. And for those of you that have not submitted a story, we would love you to be a shining star in someone's life. And you have 3 different ways that you can tell your story. You can do it in written format, which will be read by a computerized voice on YouTube. You can do it in pre-recorded video, and you can also do it live like I'm talking to you now so that you can take questions from the community. And don't worry about being emotional. Emotional is great. That's normal. It's human. It's completely normal. What we kind of are looking for are the symptoms. Like, what did you feel? What did you experience? What was the process of your diagnosis? If you are a caregiver, What was the process of your loved one's diagnosis? And if you unfortunately lost someone, what was the process that your loved one went through? What did people maybe miss? What did they not miss? And maybe it just was a devastating dissection. What, what was found as far as aortic disease? Was there an issue with your valve? I don't need the specifics, but we want to know, what was that process like? We want to celebrate the success stories and educate the stories where people were not thinking about the aorta, because we need people to do just that. And we want to share this with emergency room physicians. It will be shared with Think Aorta. It will be on Facebook, our website, our Instagram, LinkedIn, different places, tweeted about, whole 9 yards, or I don't know what now. Is it X'd about? I have no idea what you do on there, what the verb is, but I'm going to say tweeted. So if you're interested in being one of our survivors sharing your story, just click the link below and someone will be in touch. Hats off to Velda.
Also, I believe it was her birthday this weekend.
I think I remember. I better have said happy birthday. I would sing now, but I really don't want to humiliate myself. Sorry. So it's the thought. It's the thought that I'm singing to you right now. Okay.
Okay, and we've got some chat now.
Sure. Before we get into
I
this.
really enjoy Medical Monday and Topic Tuesday.
Oh,
Learned so
good.
much from Molly. I really enjoy John Quick on TT,
Mm-hmm.
Therapeutic Thursday, I suppose. And She Wore Red. John
Good.
is Great by Tom. Velda, hi Karen. I'm so happy to
Hi.
see you, and I love how Medical Monday and a reminder to get up and move on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Molly, it was all day Saturday Velda Day.
Yes, it was. It is Velda Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That
I'm
movement.
sorry. Her birthday is this weekend, the
Oh,
16th.
then I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
See, our brains and our memories, they're not great. But you could have convinced me that I said happy birthday. But I know, yeah, you could have convinced me and I would have been like, yeah, I totally did it. But I didn't do it. I was aortiversary. Okay, that's fine. All right. That moves us right along to our Sunday, which was all about pre and post op or diagnosis suggestions. So we've always tracked pre and post op suggestions strictly when it comes to an operation. What are some things that you should ask before you have an operation? Questions that you should have answered about your um, recovery, visitors, follow-ups, medication, etc. And then post surgery, we like to talk about what are some things you might want to have at the hospital to make you more comfortable, etc. Right? This we really want to talk about pre and post diagnosis, right? We never really talked about that. Kind of like if you knew then what you know now, right? And we're kind of looking for people to tell us, if you could tell somebody who's newly been diagnosed, they just found out a scan came back, it's showing they have an aneurysm, they're going to meet with their doctor, or it shows something's different with their valve and they're going to have that first meeting. What are some things you would suggest to them that they should ask the physician or their team? Right? What are some things that you would say, you should really ask this, you should really ask that? Uh, Same thing with afterwards. Afterwards, not post-operative suggestions, but what are the conversations that anybody with aortic disease can have? They found out they have something wrong with their valve, or they've had their valve replaced, or they have an aneurysm, and that's been, it doesn't matter if it's been fixed or not. Just what are some general after treatment questions that you think people should ask versus suggestions on comfortability? I think it's important, and I think who better to provide that information than all of you, you know? So for instance, here, the question was posed: after surviving a dissection, what are the chances of having another dissection? That's a really important question. It's a really important question. And the key to this is, this isn't a situation that you need to be trained or educated in this one-on-one or group setting about what right questions to ask. I think all of us pretty much have a good sense. I think anybody could come up with 5 questions and they don't need to be led on that. But sometimes we're so full of anxiety that we're not even hearing what's going on in the meeting. And maybe your loved one needs to step up and ask the questions. And there are important questions to ask. But if you're just learning what an aorta is, you're not going to think of all of those. So I think the community, again, I think that if you can go back to this post and answer it for us, we are tabulating this and we are going to have this posted under our resources as far as questions to ask and ways to prepare for that first meeting or follow-up meeting. And I look forward to your answers because, I'm still learning. It's been 10 years for me and I learn from all of you every day. So please share. And we're going to be talking more about this as well. This is another prime example of how to ace that healthcare journey. Having these tools helps you be the best advocate. It helps you communicate and it helps you educate and become educated, right? That's your two-way street for success. So help us help everybody else by providing those answers. And we thank you ahead of time. Okay, off to the exciting stuff. You ready? Should we do a drum roll? Are we ready for this? Okay, I'm just going to sit here like this and maybe give you a hint. I'm going to stretch. Oh, it's a hint. Because tonight we're going live with Lawrence Hope at 7:30. And we're going to talk a lot about this that just got posted on Instagram. Collaboration between Aortic Hope and Lawrence Hope Medical ID. I'm just going to show you this as I read this. This is hot off the presses, and this contest is only on Instagram. This round only on Instagram. Okay, so whatever you see, whether it's on the website or whatever, we get a chance to post this on Facebook because it's literally still drying, the ink's drying. You have to go back to this post. It's going to have the heart hands. And this is the post you need to go to do the following that you're going to see. Okay, this is what it is. This February, Lawrence Hope and Aortic Hope are teaming up to raise awareness for Heart Month, and together we're spreading hope and encouraging heart health awareness. One lucky winner will receive a Lawrence Hope gift certificate to shop their collection of stylish, functional medical ID jewelry. So here's what you have to do. All right. Hashtag Hope for Hearts. Remember that. That's important. $50 certificate. That's what you're going to get. Here's how you enter. You need to share a photo or a reel showcasing your heart health journey. And it really can be anything you want to talk about. A picture of yourself, something like that. You have to tag Lawrence Hope ID and you have to tag Aortic Hope. So you have to use the little @ symbol at Lawrence Hope ID at Aortic Hope in your post somewhere. That tag has to be in there, okay? And you have to finally use the hashtag Hope for Hearts in your post, okay? You look at this. Here's some inspiration. Look, that's the jacket that I got from Diane Bishop, Aortic Health Unlimited. It's the Aortic Hope jacket, which I love. You could simply post something like that. You could show yourself wearing Aortic Hope swag. You could just be wearing a red shirt. You could just cut, like she did here, cut out some hearts. Something that and it doesn't have to have Lawrence Hope stuff in it, but you can create a whole video off it. Anything that just showcases heart health or a journey or something related to it, okay? You, again, share it, either photo or a reel, tag Aortic Hope and Lawrence Hope ID in the post and put the hashtag Hope for Hearts, okay? You have until February 28th. It must be on this one original Instagram post, either on our page or their page, okay? And you have until February 28th. So you can enter more than once. That's fine too. And the winner will be randomly selected and announced via Instagram stories on March 3rd, okay? So snap a pic of your Lawrence Hope medical ID in action. Pow, pow, like Wonder Woman, right? Rock your Aortic Hope swag if you want. Show us your Aortic Hope shirts, your stickers, your seatbelt cover, etc. Spot the hearts. Find a heart-shaped object, right? I mean, I don't have one right now with me, believe it or not, but if I did, I would show you a heart-shaped object. Use a heart filter. Make a heart with your hands, but burp, right? Or share your story and just talk and just say, why is heart health or aortic health so important to you? This is a great opportunity for all of you who wanted to help, who want to contribute. You're basically helping others learn about aortic hope and learn about Lawrence Hope medical IDs. It's that simple. And then you have a chance to win in the meantime as well. So Aortic Valve Disease Day is on the 22nd. This is an important spotlight for you. To help spread the word, tag a friend in the comments. You could do that as well. Share the post to your story on Instagram. Help share the message. Together we can spread #HopeForHearts. Okay? So again, don't forget to put your deadline in by the 28th. All of the directions are right here on that post, which is going to get pushed down every day through the 28th on Instagram, but it's very easy to look for. You're looking for this picture right there. That's a pretty big one. It's pretty easy to look for on our Instagram. Find it and go enter again if you want. But again, remember, when you see it on Facebook, I'm directing you to Instagram. I will actually put a link to the Instagram post. So it pops right up and you can go ahead and enter. Okay, it's only open to US residents. You have to be 18 years or older. No purchase necessary for you to be entered to win. Again, randomly selected from all eligible entries, and the winner will be announced on March 3rd. Okay, and that is kind of it. That's the rules. There you go. It's exciting. We've done this before and it was great. It was a lot of fun and I hope you enjoy yourself as well. And tonight we're going to talk about it. And tonight we're showcasing some new, oh my goodness, I got a sneak peek. These are gorgeous, you guys. Gorgeous bracelets, tags, new designs for more masculine bracelets as well. They keep amazing me. I mean, I don't know that I could come up with as many ideas as their team does, but what I love so much about them is they make everything on hand. It's right there in Missouri. I think it's called Kansas, Missouri. I think I'm right. I always want to say Kentucky. It's not. It's Kansas. They're right there in Missouri. They create everything on site. They design everything on site. They have 2 customer service reps. You're either talking to, I think it's Matt or Michael or this other woman. They're so sweet. Everything is done right there. Lauren of Lawrence Hope is there. She was once very young. She's now a grown adult working in the business. I mean, it's a wonderful organization and they're there to help you and they're there to help inspire you to want to feel more protected in case there's a medical problem. You want to have the best on you for your EMTs. And I love mine. There's my tag. There's the under information, which is still relatively easy to see. This is the Stella. And it actually has a little bit of yellow gold in there. And I can add multiple bracelets to this tag and wear them all at one time. And I sleep with it. I do. I don't wear it when I'm in the shower and I don't wear it when I go to the pool or something like that. But otherwise, I don't even realize it's there. I just add to it to change the accessory to match my outfit. All right, so that's what's happening. Come join us tonight. I'm not sure if we're doing trivia because she just destroys me every time we do trivia. Hopefully there's time. If there isn't, we're going to do a giveaway tonight from all of you that participate and hang out with us. So we will see you later. All right. Talking about events. Okay. What we got? Support group meeting coming up 10 p.m. tomorrow night on Tuesday. This is to accommodate all of you West Coasters, by the way, because I have one eye shut at 10 p.m. Eastern, just letting you know. It also could accommodate our Australian folks too, right? Yeah, it could very well because they would be on Wednesday, but still it could accommodate them. Then we've got Aortic Artist with Diane Bishop coming up on Wednesday. She is going to go through brush strokes. Let's go back down to basics before we start a whole year of really fun arts and crafts projects. And I don't know if you remember, I have my Lola here. Oh, she's kind of freaky looking, but my Lola pot holds my glasses and stuff right here. She's really scary looking. But I use her and she holds all my pens and stuff here in the office. But we're going to learn brush strokes so that we're ready to attack all of our painting projects going on for the rest of the year. As always, Thursdays, Therapeutic Thursdays with John Quick. We've got our Valentine's Day bingo, guys, on Thursday night. You need to register. If you have not registered, you must register every time you want to play. The link is in here in our events section. Go to the bingo and you register. And then moments before the game starts, you're going to get your one and only bingo card. So you're reusing it. Do not mark it up. You're going to jack up your game and your chances. You use it for all 10 games. So bring Skittles or M&Ms or dimes or whatever and put it on the card and scrape it off. We have 10 rounds. We give away a variety of prizes ranging from like $25 in value up to $50 in value. There's specials. It's a lot of fun. So these will be a little bit more heart themed. It's February, it's Valentine's Day, bingo. It's free and you're going to have a great time. So sign up for that. And as always on Sundays, there's Qigong with community member and survivor Kevin Songer. That's free too. This is part of the community that you guys are asking for and we've created for you. Then we have Caregivers Only Support Group meeting. We do have one coming up on Monday, the 17th. That one is at 8 p.m. That is the last one for this month because we offer 3 of those a month. And then we do have our Aortic Kitchen with Chef Rob and Mindy. I cannot remember what they're cooking. Do you remember, Josh? I know we just finished cherries.
I do not recall.
It could be Mexican. I always say that. Every time is Mexican. I don't know why I say that, but could be. It's some cultural menu. Yeah, because we just did cherries, I think, last. All of these things are free for you to join and enjoy. Of course, if you love what we're doing, we love that you might want to give us a donation. That would be awesome. And then, really exciting, first time, we are introducing our WISE meeting. This is Women Inspiring Support for Empowerment for Aortic Health. This is a women's only support group meeting. And it's going to be led by Diane Bishop. So it should be very fun. She is our aortic artist. And I think that having these meetings and letting our members dictate who they may or may not want as guests, talking about a lot of the women-related issues, whether you're a caregiver or a patient, is important. And that's going to be happening on the 24th. And you will need to sign up for that. So if you're signed up for our regular support group meetings, you receive your email with a link to join right before those meetings. And caregivers have their own special link as well. Well, the people that are part of the WISE meeting will have their own link to register. Register once. You'll be notified with an email to join that meeting just prior to. And that is at 7 p.m. Eastern on the 24th. And then we have our final general support group meeting. I don't know why it says aortic artist. I think we moved it to the 27th, so I have to take that off. It's not on the 12th, everybody. I jacked that up. It's on the 27th. But we have our final support group meeting on the 26th of general support group meeting. So it's still a busy February, and I'm not done. I don't know that I'm done adding. I have asked a physician to join us.
There is an addition. This Saturday, John Tavoinen is going to be giving us a Survivor series.
Wonderful.
There will also be a short teaser coming out here in the near future.
Very nice. Okay. That's great. That's awesome. That's wonderful. I know that he helps volunteer with Diane's Facebook page and her group as well. So that'll be interesting to hear what he has to talk about. So yeah, some stuff coming up, stuff on the horizon. February is busy. And with all these snowstorms I mean, why can't it just be over? It's so pretty out today. I see the big fireball in the sky, which I haven't seen for a while. And now,
more snow
anywhere
tomorrow,
from
our side.
I know. Tomorrow into Wednesday.
Have Molly saying it is Mexican coming up with
right.
the kitchen.
I do love Mexican. I do. Okay, that's good. It would be great if I could learn how to make some of my own stuff that way. I love that. And how do you make really good Mexican with less sodium? That's a question, because sometimes you get Mexican food, whether it's tortilla soup or fajitas, and it's like salty, That's not what we're supposed to have, a lot of that. So yeah. Okay. I think that's what I got today. I think that's all I have. How did I fit all of that in 38 minutes?
You like to talk fast sometimes.
I know. I do. But I do want to talk about one more thing before we go, because this week's Week in Review was generously provided to all of you. It was sponsored by Rock from the Heart. Rock from the Heart has this event coming up on February 22nd. I love this ticker. No, it's not. It's on the 21st. It's on the it's on the 21st, begins on the 21st. 11 days to go, you guys. And if you've not been to a Rock from the Heart event, you might want to consider going to this one. There's still tickets on sale. And if you can't make this one, then you should consider making the one that's in May, the very first weekend. So what happens in a Rock from the Heart event? You arrive to attend a symposium on a Friday, okay? They call them their Aortic Ed sessions. They're actually running from 1 to 6 on Friday, the 21st. So a lot of us are arriving on the 20th because sometimes flights are really wonky and you can't get there on time for the event. So anyway, the sessions begin on Friday. There will be tables. Aortic Hope will be there. Heart Valve Voice will be there. Maybe there's another couple tables where you can meet everybody, grab some tchotchkes from us and some information. And then we all go in and we have this great symposium where survivors will be speaking. I'm going to be talking about how to ace that healthcare journey. Other physicians, variety of different types of physicians, are speaking and educating you. And then on Saturday, you have an opportunity to buy tickets to see the Spin Doctors. That's who she has this year. That is a nice 1990s band from that era. And beforehand, you can actually buy a ticket to a VIP event, which is really cool. So you have a chance to mingle. It's heavy hors d'oeuvres, a couple of drinks, take pictures with Mr. Hart, a guy dressed up as a heart. Miss Minnesota will be there. She has had Viking players in the past there. So it's a great opportunity to kind of schmooze and enjoy before you go into the concert. And she has, the block of rooms expired at the hotel, but there is lodging right at the St. Paul Hotel, which is where the symposium takes place. So you just kind of leave your room and go downstairs. Anyway, most of these buildings are attached with walkways and underground tunnels because it can be very, very cold. And it's going to be very cold. At night, it's going to be like 10. But I know this week it's going to be negative 10. So I'm hoping we're at least like above the zero. I don't want to be negative. Then I have to take an Uber to go a block because I can't. I will be frozen popsicle. Look, she's also having community heart screenings. This is the first for this event. That's happening from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. I will be at Paisley Park visiting Prince's house again for like the 4th time. But you guys can go to this community heart screening. So they, I believe, are doing echoes, blood pressures, and their stethoscope checks as well. So take a look at that. And these are some of the other ones that they have, which is happening May 2nd, the same type of sessions, but in, this looks like it says Moorhead, Minnesota. Oh, I thought she was doing this in North Dakota. Okay, I must be wrong. And then that evening afterwards on the 3rd, she has Sebastian Bach. And he's very into this. And from what I hear, he's very cool. I've not gotten a chance to see him yet. And they still have a reserved block of rooms at a courtesy rate still open if you want to book that for May. So that's the Rock from the Heart events. Looking forward to seeing all of you and some new faces put to the names that I read out there all the time. And yeah, thank you, Rock from the Heart, for sponsoring this week's Week in Review. And that is all I have. That is all I have. I am tapped out on information. Tapped.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who joined. Happy pre-birthday to Velda. And again, don't forget to find that post. Send us your information that you would suggest asking as far as questions, pre and post-op treatment, diagnosis, the whole 9 yards. And don't forget to look for that Instagram post multiple times over the next, 18 days and enter to win. And then tonight you could win if you join us on the live event. So that's all there for you. And please don't forget to click like, click subscribe, click the little bell so you're notified when we go live, like tonight. And until tonight, that's all I got. But I'll see you next week for Week in Review, same day, same time. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.